brothers and sisters, the people of Ambazonian and the people in the diaspora, the United States government, the U.S. Congress, the U.S. Senate, the President of the White House. It is quite imperative that the people, the former British trusted territory, now the Federal Republic of Ambazonian citizens, that our people has gone through traumatic event, and we cannot in any circumstances live together with the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. Our people are going through trauma, aggressive behavior of someone that is suffering from mental psychosis, that was elected by an election that has no valid or merit. I, here in the United States, as an election judge in a precinct, I participate in an election and I witnessed the drama in the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. And you all, the world, witness exactly what it is. We believe in a government of transparency. We believe in a government of accountability. We have an individual called Paul Biya appoint his relatives as a Supreme Court judge, in it so that he can proclaim him as the victory and then become a president of a country. That is a corruption system, a government that has no merit. And our people has gone through this behavior for a long time. We are a nation. We will no longer accept any collaboration with the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. It is imperative that the United States, as one of the nations that voted for the independence of the people of Southern Cameroon in 1961, during the United Nations General Assembly. And so our people have lived with La Republique for the past 56 years. You all witnessed the murder of a U.S. citizens that decided to relocate. He must have an environment. We must have an environment that it is safe for both everyone around the world. We cannot tolerate this system living together with the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. If we can be part of democratic process here in the United States, why can't we be part of the process of our own political process? Why should La Republique, a French company or a French government, be able to manage our political affairs, whereas we are here in the United States and the government here in the United States entrust our political system here that we can be a judge in a political field? Why our people cannot witness the same thing back in Africa? Because we have a terrorist government. Imagine that a priest or a missionary was brutally murdered by La Republique soldier, and deliberately, despite the fact that the family clearly indicates that they were murdered by La Republique, and yet they couldn't acknowledge. It's not just the first time. There is ongoing murdering and slaughtering of our citizens. First with Atanganji, the architects of the territorial administration minister, who just bought a home here in the United States in the tune of 750 million CFA, which is almost equivalent to 1.something million US dollar. He is the one that is organizing a militiaman that he paid using funding from the government to carry on this orchestrated murdering of our citizens, including the U.S. missionary, with the Minister of Defense, Asomo, of La Republique. Imagine the Ambas boys they cannot provide a 70-seater vehicle that will convert students that were adopted or kidnapped in their dormitory to a neighboring part of the country barefoot. They haven't had that capacity, because even imaginations, if they can adopt, but they can provide a 70-seater. So you will obviously agree that La Republique is in charge of this organizing crime, so as to portray that the people of our defense system is for the interest of every citizen of the Southern Cameroon. They are not against the citizens. And so they care, their safety is the priority of our Amba defense system. Let's take, for example, in Santa, the road was cut. While we still use road to protect, but they were vandalized, almost 70 different trucks. It must take a military to block the access road in a high freeway, to block the two access roads for a length of time, to carry on the action that they carry and vandalize almost 50 different cars. It must take a military of La Republique to carry on such a vandalism. It all happened in Pinyin as well, when over 40 young boys were brutally murdered by this regime and being orchestrated. I think it is imperative that the United States recognize that the people of Southern Cameroon can defend themselves and that they should be recognized as a nation. By driveling and speaking, talking, it doesn't help. The United States voted in 1961 in the United Nations General Assembly, recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon. We are the sons and daughters here in the diaspora. We have spoken. We have speak on behalf of our people. We demonstrate on behalf of our people. We are educated, intelligent here in the United States and Europe, elsewhere, Germany, London. We are spoken about our nations to remain a sovereign nation. So United States must unanimously recognize our nation as a nation and let we live as a neighboring country with La Republique du Cameroun. We will not in any circumstances allow and tolerate La Republique continue murdering our citizens while we are here in the United States and seeing all this behavior. We cannot believe, as from medical perspective or from medical point of view, this is someone that is suffering from mental psychosis, phobia. He's suffering from mental degradations. He cannot manage the nations as a president. And he's being managed by his close Betis clique, which means people within his own tribe, which he has appointed, and to carry on the destruction of our land. We have almost 80,000 people in Nigeria. We have almost 200,000 of our citizens in the forest. And we have almost every citizen displaced. And we have the governor of a French republic. We have all the two northwest and southwest. All the governors are all francophones. And they display and destabilize our home. While we live here peacefully and we see the images coming from our territory, it's intolerable. So we call upon the United States to act appropriately, recognizing our nation as the next nation of Africa. We cannot in any circumstances allow La Republique to continue genocide and murdering our civilian population while we are here in the United States, Great Britain, and the rest of the world, and they seem to turn a blind eye as though nothing is happening. So I encourage the United States that I, as a judge in a precinct election, which I also conducted here in the United States, I believe our own nations must exercise the same privilege as here in the United States. And we will use the same policy that is being applied here in the United States and educate our people that they can have a meaningful election in that nation. And we cannot deal with the meaningful election or conduct a meaningful election in that atmosphere of terrorist military of La Republique, destabilizing the peace-loving people of Southern Cameroon. I want to take a moment to thank the United States that it's time to make a good decisions based on rational thinking. I wish you all a happy day ahead. God bless you. This is Funton Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas here in the United States.